Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll talk about solar radiation. Today we'll study solar radiation. What do you understand by solar radiation? What do you mean by solar radiation? The radiation emitted by sun, or radiation emitted from sun is known as solar radiation. Do you know any object that is having more than 0 degrees Kelvin temperature, any object that is having more than 0 degree Kelvin temperature or minus 273 degrees Celsius temperature, that will emit some kind of radiation to its surrounding. Right? Any object. Suppose I am writing with a pen and this pen is having more than 0 degree Kelvin temperature. That means it is radiating some kind of energy to its surrounding, and that energy is radiated in the form of electromagnetic wave. Okay, why it is called wave and why it is called electromagnetic? Because the photon molecule that constitute the radiation is constituted by photon molecule, or radiation is made up of photon molecules, that is the energy carrying molecules, and these molecules, they actually do not move in straight line, they move in wave manner, right? And these are having electric and magnetic properties. That is why these waves are known as electromagnetic waves. And what is wavelength? Wavelength of any radiation, that is the shortest distance between the consecutive draw or the consecutive crest or the consecutive draw, that is called wavelength, and it is assigned as lambda. The symbol is lambda, and the unit of wavelength is micron or nanometer or angstrom. Okay, what is wavelength? Wavelength is the shortest distance between two consecutive crest or draw. The shortest distance between two consecutive crest or draw, that is called wavelength, and the unit is micron or nanometer or angstrom. Okay, so another relationship you have to remember: if the object is having higher energy, that will emit higher temperature. Okay, so that is directly proportional. And if the object is having higher temperature, that will emit shorter wavelength. Okay, the wavelength of radiation emitted from any object, that is the wavelength of radiation emitted by certain object, that is inversely proportional to the energy level of that object, and that is inversely proportional to the temperature of that object. Okay, so in case of solar radiation, sun is radiating those radiation in electromagnetic wave format. Okay, sun is radiating certain energy, right? So what is the significance of solar radiation? If we say significance of solar radiation on our earth. Okay, what are the significance of solar radiation on our earth? All the weather phenomena you are observing in our earth, all the weather phenomena that is due to solar radiation. Okay, all the weather phenomena, whether it is hydrological cycle, whether it is evaporation, transpiration, photosynthesis, everything depends on solar radiation. We can visualize different objects, we can see each other due to solar radiation. Okay, we can see each other due to solar radiation. Photosynthesis happens due to solar radiation. So sun is also known as ultimate source of energy. Why sun is known as ultimate source of energy? Because it radiates huge quantity of energy, and more than 99% of energy requirement, in earth we get from sun. Okay, we get from sun. Okay, that's why sun is also known as ultimate source of energy. So how sun gets its energy? From where sun gets its energy? Due to fusion process. Okay, fusion process. What is fusion process? Due to fusion process, sun gets its huge quantity of energy. And what is fusion process? This is a nuclear reaction where two hydrogen atom combines and form helium atom, and huge quantity of energy is being generated. Okay, two hydrogen atom combine to form helium molecule, and there is huge quantity of energy generated, and this is a chain reaction. This reaction is a chain reaction, and this is nuclear fusion reaction. Okay, nuclear reaction and chain reaction that generate huge quantity of energy in sun. That's why the energy radiated from sun, that is in the quantity of 56 into 10 to the power 26 calorie per centimeter square per minute. This much energy, 56 into 10 to the power 26 calorie per centimeter square per minute, energy is being radiated from sun. This is huge number. This number is huge, right? So this much energy is radiated from the surface or from the sun. Okay, so as I have told you that energy level of the object is directly proportional to the temperature. So here this much quantity of energy is radiated from sun, and what will be the temperature of the sun? The outer atmosphere temperature of sun, that is around 6000 degree Kelvin. The outer atmospheric temperature of sun is around 6000 degree Kelvin, and the inner temperature of sun is around 2240 into 10 to the power 6 degree Kelvin. Okay, 2240 into 10 to the power 6 degree Kelvin. That is the inner temperature, that is in millions of Kelvin, right? So outer temperature is around 6000 degree Kelvin, right? So according to our the law, thumb rule, if energy of the object is higher, that means temperature of the object will be higher, and what wavelength it will generate or radiate, that will be shorter, right? What is the mean temperature of earth? The mean temperature is around 13 degrees Celsius, right? The mean temperature is around 13 degrees Celsius. So which object, that means earth will emit shorter wavelength radiation or sun will emit shorter wavelength radiation? Shorter wavelength radiation will be emitted by sun. Why? Because sun is having higher energy level and higher temperature than earth, right? So what is mean by short wavelength radiation and long wavelength radiation? Okay, what is short wave radiation and what is long wave radiation? Suppose I am telling that you are shorter or you are taller, that means I am referring you with certain point. Okay, with respect to something you are taller, or with respect to someone you are taller or you are shorter. So if we take the reference point as visible radiation, okay, the reference point is visible radiation. What is the wavelength of visible radiation? That is, wavelength of visible radiation is 380 to 760 nanometer, or 0.38 to 0.76 micron. Okay, this is the range of visible radiation. From this visible radiation we have photosynthetically active radiation. The range is 400 to 700 nanometer. That is most photosynthetically active radiation, that is 400 to 700 nanometers. Okay, so that radiation having wavelength less than visible radiation, wavelength having radiation less than visible radiation, wavelength of radiation, if it is less than visible radiation, then that is called short wave radiation. Okay, then that is called short wave radiation. And if the wavelength of the radiation is more than visible radiation, that means more than 760 nanometer, then that is called long wave radiation, right? So which radiation is having higher energy? Which radiation is having higher energy? Short wave radiation is having higher energy. Long wave radiation is having lower energy. Okay, the wavelength is lower here in short wave radiation, wavelength is higher in long wave radiation than the visible radiation, right? So what are the examples of short wave radiation? Those are cosmic rays, gamma rays, X-rays, okay, UV rays. These are having shorter wavelength than visible radiation. These are example of short wave radiation. Then what are the long wave radiation we have? We have infrared radiation, then radio wave radiation, microwave radiation. These are example of long wave radiation: infrared, radio wave, microwave. These are having higher wavelength and lower energy level. Okay, so sun normally radiates cosmic rays, gamma rays and X-rays. Which radiations are emitted by sun? Which radiation are emitted by sun? Sun generally radiates cosmic rays, okay, X-rays, then gamma rays. Okay, these are the short wave radiation. These are emitted from sun. So what is the distance of sun from earth? Okay, now in our solar system we have sun, then we have Mercury, then we have Venus, then we have earth. Okay, we have our living planet earth. What is the distance of sun from earth? That is 1.5 into 10 to the power 8 kilometer. Okay, this is the distance of earth from sun, 1.5 into 10 to the power 8 kilometers. Okay, so whatever radiation that is coming from sun, that is cosmic wave, cosmic radiation, X-rays, then gamma rays, while traveling such a huge distance, that is 1.5 into 10 to the power 8 kilometer, while traveling this much distance, these radiations they emit or lose certain energy. These radiation they lose certain energy and they convert to UV rays and visible rays. Okay, are you getting? When this radiation, this short wavelength radiation like cosmic rays, X-rays, gamma rays, they travel such a huge distance, that is 1.5 into 10 to the power 8 kilometer, they radiate some kind of energy to their surrounding or to the atmosphere or to the space, and they convert from extreme short wave radiation to UV rays and visible radiations or visible rays, right? So okay, they convert from short wave radiation to visible radiation, right? So what happens when these radiations they try to enter earth? Okay, suppose this is earth and this is our atmosphere, this is troposphere, first layer, then stratosphere, we have then mesosphere, we have then thermosphere, and then exosphere. Suppose radiation is coming from sun, okay, so the extreme short wave radiation they cannot enter earth atmosphere, like cosmic rays, X-rays, gamma rays, they cannot enter earth atmosphere because they actually convert from extreme short wave radiation to UV rays and visible radiations. So generally UV rays and visible radiations they enter to the earth atmosphere. they enter to the earth atmosphere. But in the earth atmosphere, we know in stratosphere we have one layer that is called ozone layer. One layer that is called ozone layer. They actually filter these UV rays. They filter these UV rays. UV rays again classified into UVC, UVB and UVA. So UVC is the extreme short wave radiation of UV radiation having higher energy. Okay, short wavelength and high energy radiation, this UVC. Then UVB is also harmful, having a lower wavelength and higher energy. UVA is having higher wavelength and lower energy level. Okay, so UVC is extremely harmful and UVB is extremely harmful. UVA is not that much harmful. But UVC, it cannot enter our troposphere. What happens to UVC? UVC is having higher energy level. So in the stratosphere, whatever oxygen molecule are there, and UVC is having higher energy. So UVC break down this oxygen molecule to form nascent oxygen. In the upper atmosphere or stratosphere, UVC is having higher energy level and it strike the oxygen molecule and break down the oxygen molecule to nascent oxygen. Okay, this nascent oxygen, they combine with oxygen molecule to form ozone molecule, right? So this is the layer of ozone. Okay, this ozone layer, they absorb mainly UVB radiation. Okay, oxygen molecule, it absorbs UVC radiation and ozone layer absorbs UVB radiation. So it ultimately protects our troposphere or our biosphere from UV radiations, right? So ultimately the visible radiation is entered in the troposphere. Visible radiation, that is having the wavelength 400 to 700 nanometer, that enters the atmosphere. So what happens to this visible radiation? That is, we'll cover in fate of solar radiation. Okay, fate of solar radiation. That means what happens to the solar radiation? When it enters to the earth atmosphere? Okay, suppose this is earth surface, then this is our atmosphere, right? Then this is sun. Okay, so if 100% energy, 100% radiation is coming from sun and 100% incidented on the upper atmosphere, then what happens to this radiation? That is called fate of solar radiation. So what happens to this radiation? So here in upper atmosphere troposphere, we have cloud molecules. In the lower troposphere, we have dust particles, water vapor and gaseous molecules, right? So from 100% solar radiation, cloud actually it reflects around 24% of radiation, right? And our atmosphere, that consists of different water vapors, then gaseous molecules, then dust particles, they reflect 6% of radiation. And after striking the earth surface, it reflects around 6% of radiation. So total how much radiation reflected back? That is 36% reflected back. How much left from 100%? How much left? This is reflected back. Okay, reflected. Then how much left? Total left is 64%. Okay, so this radiation is actually they are entering the earth surface and they are remaining here. So from this 64%, 3% absorbed by cloud. Okay, cloud absorbs 3%. Then atmosphere absorbs around how much? 14%, atmosphere absorbs around 14%, and Earth's surface absorbs around 47%. Earth's surface absorbs 47% of energy. Okay, so total 64%. 64% remains in the Earth. Okay, so what happens to this 64%? It maintains the Earth atmospheric temperature. Okay, maintains atmospheric temperature, takes part in weather phenomena, okay, then takes part in different visibility, then our photosynthesis. This energy is being utilized. Again, in the daytime, Earth receives this solar radiation. In night time, what happens? In night time, Earth emits some energy. In the night time, what happens? In the night time, Earth emits some energy to the upper atmosphere. This radiation is known as terrestrial radiation. These radiations are known as terrestrial radiation, and these are mainly infrared radiation or long wave radiation. These are infrared radiation or long wave radiation having lower energy level. Okay, these are having higher wavelength and lower energy level. These radiations are having higher wavelength and lower energy level. So what happens? These radiations are again trapped by our atmospheric water vapor, different dust particles, and different gaseous molecules, and it increases the temperature of the atmosphere, and the atmosphere remains warm, and it become living worthy or life worthy. If there will be no atmosphere, or if there would be no terrestrial radiation or reflected radiation from Earth, then our atmosphere remain that much cooler that would not be suitable for us to live in, right? So all of you clear what is short wave radiation, what is long wave radiation, what is terrestrial radiation? All of you clear, I think. Okay. So next thing is, what is albedo? Okay, what is albedo? Okay, before that, let's discuss about solar constant. Solar constant. So this is sun, and this is suppose Earth. Okay, so how much energy is radiated from sun? From sun, radiated energy is 56 into 10 to the power 26 calorie per centimeter square per minute. Okay, this much energy is radiated from sun. But how much radiation is incidented on Earth atmosphere, upper atmosphere of the Earth? How much radiation is incidented? That is known as solar constant. So what is solar constant? Solar constant is the energy incidented on upper atmosphere of Earth per unit time, per unit area, per unit time, how much radiation, solar radiation, is incidented in the upper atmosphere. That is known as solar constant. And the value of solar constant is 1.94 calorie per centimeter square per minute, or 1.94 Langley per minute, or 1353 watt per meter square. This is the value of solar constant. This is important from exam point of view. You have to remember, right? So this is solar constant. Then what is albedo? What is albedo? This is the proportion of reflected radiation from any object. This is the proportion of reflected radiation from any object out of total incoming radiation. Okay, suppose this is an object, or this is a plant. So how much energy is coming and how much energy is reflected back? The reflected energy divided by reflected radiation divided by incidental radiation into 100. This is called albedo. Okay, this is called albedo. the value of albedo ranges from 0 to 1. The mean albedo of Earth's surface, that is 0.3. This albedo is measured by instrument albedometer, right? Albedometer. And this albedo value varies from crop to crop, varies from soil to soil based on different situation. For rice crop, the value of albedo is, mean value of albedo is 12%. For potato crop, this mean value of albedo is 19%. For mung, it is 26%. For black dry soil, the value of albedo is 14%. For black moist soil, the value of albedo is 8%. So if the moisture content of the soil increases, the albedo value will decrease. If the soil is lighter or lighter in color, then the albedo value will increase. Okay, highest albedo from snow and lowest albedo from charcoal or maybe black body, right? Because black absorbs energy and light color emits energy, so albedo value will be higher in light object, right? Then we have discussed short wave radiation, long wave radiation, then terrestrial radiation. Then we will discuss what is net radiation. Okay, there are different kind of radiation. So one is global radiation, total radiation. Okay, what is global radiation? Global radiation, that is total radiation coming to the Earth's surface, right? Then some are reflected radiation. Okay, what is reflected from Earth's surface or from cloud or from atmosphere. Then some are diffused radiation. Then they are the diffused form of radiation from the atmosphere or different gaseous molecule or dust particles. Then some are net radiation. Okay, net radiation, what is net radiation? That is total incoming radiation minus total reflected radiation, that is how much radiation is actually present in the Earth atmosphere, right? How much coming and how much minus how much reflected back, that is net radiation. That is measured with net radiometer, right? Incoming radiation minus outgoing radiation, that is called net radiation. Okay, how solar radiation is measured? Solar radiation is measured by pyranometer, instrument pyranometer. Okay, and photosynthetically active radiation, that is measured by quantum sensor. Okay, photosynthetically active radiation is measured by quantum sensor. Solar radiation is measured by pyranometer, right? Then we have the response of plants to solar radiation. We'll discuss. This is also an important question. Okay, response of plants to solar radiation. Okay, why we are studying these different climatic characteristics or weather variabilities or weather attributes? We have to correlate these things with our crop growth and production. That is our main goal. So what is the response of plants to solar radiation? What is the response of plants to solar radiation? Based on, with respect to response of plants to solar radiation, we have three types of criteria. That is, one is quality of solar radiation, one is duration of solar radiation, another is intensity of solar radiation. Okay, what are they? They are quality of solar radiation, duration of solar radiation, and intensity of solar radiation. Based on quality, what is quality of solar radiation? That is the spectral composition of solar radiation. Okay, spectral composition of solar radiation. Okay, what is spectral composition? That is the wavelength of light. Okay, wavelength of light. Okay, which wavelength of light is important for photosynthetic activity? That is called PAR, photosynthetically active radiation. That is 400 to 700 nanometer. Okay, from this PAR we know in visible radiation we have 7 color bands. What are they? In visible radiation we have 7 color bands. What are they? Viv Gyur. Okay, Viv GYOR. Okay, OR. So from Behavior, the most photosynthetic active zone is, or active band is, blue band and red band. Okay, most photosynthetically active band is blue band. Blue is around 400 to 500 nanometer, and red band is around 600 to 700 nanometer. So this radiation is mostly, they are being absorbed by chlorophyll molecule and they are used in photosynthesis activity, right? And which band is least photosynthetic active? That is green and yellow band, around 500 to 600 nanometer. This is least photosynthetically active, because these bands are reflected back by chlorophyll molecule and they are not used in photosynthetic activity, right? So this is quality of solar radiation. Then based on duration, we have long day plant, short day plant and day neutral plant. What do you understand by long day, short day and day neutral plant? If the crop require more than 14 hours of day length, more than 14 hours of solar radiation, if the plant requires more than 14 hours of solar radiation for its flowering, critical is flowering. So if the plant require more than 14 hours of solar radiation in a day during flowering, for flowering to open or happen, that is called long day plant. What are the examples? Mainly rabi crops like wheat, barley, oats. These are long day plants, right? Like wheat, barley, oats, these are long day plant, right? Then short day plant, what do you mean by short day plant? If for flowering it requires less than 10 hours of solar radiation, less than 10 hours of solar radiation if it require, then that is short day plant. Like rice, sugarcane, these are short day plant. Then day neutral plant, this is not affected by photoperiod. Day neutral plants are not affected by photoperiod, like maize, then cotton, then potato, tomato. These are day neutral plant. What are the advantages of day neutral plant? We can grow it anytime in a year, okay, because they are not affected by photoperiod. Their flowering is not affected by photoperiod. Then based on intensity, we have heliophyte, or these are known as sun loving plants, and sciophyte. These are also called shade loving plant. Okay, heliophyte and sciophyte. These are, heliophyte are sun loving plant and sciophyte are known as shade loving plant. So what are the examples? It means heliophytes, they require higher light intensity for their growth and development. Sciophyte, they require low light intensity during their growth and development. So examples of heliophytes are like maize, sugarcane, okay, sunflower. These are heliophytes. Sciophyte examples, sciophyte like ginger, garlic, then tea, they require shade, okay. Then pineapple. So these are sciophytes, right? So based on intensity, another two terms comes to mind, like light compensation point and light saturation point. Okay, what is light compensation point and what is light saturation point? The light intensity at which, light compensation point means the light intensity at which rate of photosynthesis is equal to rate of respiration. Remember, the light intensity at which rate of photosynthesis is equal to rate of respiration, that is called light compensation point. At that light intensity, the net photosynthesis will be 0, because whatever photosynthesis gain we are having, that is utilized by respiration, because rate of photosynthesis is equal to rate of respiration at light compensation point. So net photosynthesis will be 0. What is light saturation point? Light saturation point means on increasing the light intensity from the light saturation point, we do not do not record increase in rate of photosynthesis. Okay, so if we draw a graph like light intensity, suppose this is the rate of photosynthesis and this is light intensity. Okay, the graph will be like this. If the light intensity increases, the rate of photosynthesis increases, then it reaches plateau, then it remain constant. This plateau region is known as light saturation point, right? So what we have covered in this session, we have covered so many things. What we have covered? The significance of solar radiation, then what is short wave radiation, what is long wave radiation, what is terrestrial radiation, these things, then fate of solar radiation, then we discussed about what is solar constant, what is albedo, what is the response of plant to solar radiation, response of plants to solar radiation. So from exam perspective, if you are appearing semester exam, then this response of plants to solar radiation is important. It may asked as long question. Then fate of solar radiation you can find as long question. Then short notes like short notes type question, you have the significance of solar radiation, then short wave, long wave radiation difference, then terrestrial radiation, what is terrestrial radiation, then solar constant, albedo. This might be asked in short notes. Then for short question like fill in the blanks, you can find what is the value of solar constant, then in light compensation point, what is the value of net photosynthesis. This type of questions you can expect from this section. This is very important section for your exam point of view. So if you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. See you in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye, have a great day.